Hey, it's Susie. Is that so? Yes, it is Susie. I was thinking about something today and I just wanted to share it with everyone. And it may be something you've heard me say before, or you may have heard this before, or maybe in different words. I was talking in my last or previous video about personal growth. You know, it's such a buzzword, and talking about language and how we show up and the things we say, what's coming out of our mouths every day. Because in order to have any kind of personal growth or to be a little bit better every day, kind of have to be mindful of the things we say. So I know I have said this before on some of our webinars, and I just wanted to explain it a little bit because it was something that was said to me and taught to me a while back. And it's something very simple, but not easy to do all the time. So this is the statement: give space to people's garbage and love them as if they are perfect. Is that so? Yes. Give space to people's garbage and love them as if they are perfect. Okay, so maybe a little rough around the edges, how that's said, but what does that actually mean? So we all have garbage, and garbage meaning there's things about us that maybe we don't like, what other people don't like, sometimes the way we behave, sometimes the way we interact with family or with friends or at work or whatever. We all have a little bit of garbage. But the biggest thing is, if you want to have people in your life, you have to take them as they are. Is that so? Yes, it is. I'm going to say it again. If you want to have people in your life, you have to accept them and take them as they are. Give space to people's garbage and love them as if they're perfect. You can't have it both ways. What do I mean by that? And I'm going to tell a story in a little bit. You can't be thinking about someone that you kind of tolerate in your life, but geez, if they would just do this, geez, if they wouldn't act like that. Oh my goodness, they said this and they didn't do that. And oh, can you believe the way they were talking? And oh, did you see what they did? And they never got back to me. They never got back to me. I messaged them and they never got back to me. And then later on, they're still part of your life, but you're hanging on to all that crap. Okay, trying to make someone different than who they are and not accepting them for who they are. Very simple, but not easy to implement. And I constantly remind myself of that saying, because we all interact with a lot of people. There's a lot of people with all different views, a lot of people that you may not agree with, but if you want them in your life, you've got to give space to their garbage and love them as if they're perfect. A good friend of mine told me a story about how this affected her and how she made that 180 change in how she was approaching things. And it gave her power and freedom in her life. Power and freedom when you let people's garbage go. So her mom and dad divorced when she was young, and her sister used to go visit the dad. She hated going. She hated getting phone calls from him. She didn't like the way he behaved. She didn't like the way he spoke. She would go and she would visit, and she would, the whole ride home, be upset about it. If he would only do this, why doesn't he do that? Blah, 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 blah. She said this went on for years. And when she turned 40, she had like an epiphany. So she would go visit her dad, both of them older in life, and she would not like the way he was. She wished he was different. She wished he wouldn't behave the way he behaved or the things he would say. She would get all revved up about it. And she said, I'd go home, I'd be upset. I would have all of this stress about it. And he was just living his life and he was fine. And she's like, how can I do that? How can I do that? So she decided to implement give space to people's garbage and love them as if they're perfect. And you want to know what happened? The relationship with her father changed, because when she showed up and she would visit or spend time with him, she gave space to everything. She wasn't sitting there with on edge. The vibe that she was giving out was a positive vibe. She looked at him. She loved him for who he was. She let him do or say whatever he wanted, and she left happy and satisfied. And later on, about 10 years later, he did pass away. And she said she was so happy that she had taken that step to give space to him, let him be who he was. And it was how she was reacting to it, not necessarily what he was doing. So her visits were so much better. Her dad passed away and it all ended on a great relationship. Now, I have done this in my life too. I have wanted people to be different. We all have. If they could only do this, if they would only just do this, if they would only be like this, if they would only listen to me because I know I'm right and they're wrong. Let it go. Give space to people's garbage and love them as if they're perfect. If not, don't have them in your life. You can't have it both ways. That's a really, really tough thing to implement and to swallow. Is that so? Yes, that is so. So in order to have any kind of advancement in personal growth and being a little bit better every day, think about that. Think about, do you really give space to people, let them be who they are, and love them as if they're perfect? It can be done. And what that will do is that will create power and freedom in your heart, in your brain, in your life. Let it go. Next time we'll talk about not touching things and getting caca on your hands. This is one of them. Okay? So anyway, have a great day, everyone. Till next time. Mwah.